Hello. Hi, welcome back. How's everyone doing? Today I'm hopping back in the saddle and we'll get into what's been going on a little bit. Not a full-blown get ready with me today. We're probably going to focus more on the technique side of things because today is going to be makeup for when you're not feeling well and you just can't, because it's rough. My husband's blending something. Let's just jump right in. All right, per usual, we're going to kick things off with skin prep. I'll go over why this tutorial is coming to be. Also, fresh sea Submerge, very exciting. First, I'm going to dampen my face with Fitglow Sea Ceramide. I can't believe I still have any left, but that's what we're going to do. It's always refreshing to douse yourself in a facial mist, but when you're going through terrible allergies, let me tell you, it's different. You know what I mean? So next up, Sea Submerge. And I have not worn makeup since last Sunday. So it has been, today is Saturday, it's been almost a week. And it's because allergies are just so bad. And even talking with my friends, some who don't even struggle with allergies, they're really going through it. So if you're going through it, I feel you, especially if you're in like the Western Pennsylvania, Ohio-ish area. Everybody is just on the struggle bus. Do you know what I mean? And I miss makeup very much. And what is so interesting is last year was not this bad for me. I thought I'd kind of like kicked allergies butt, and maybe even the year before, still not as bad, going in with Phytosurgence, Verdant, Forcefield to moisturize. But there was a few years ago, I think it was 2018, was the worst that I can remember, because I remember just sobbing because I couldn't wear contacts. And when I can't wear contacts, makeup is like not an option because I am very visually challenged, and the distance is probably like from here, I lose focus and the rest is just blurs. So I can't see to put makeup on. And I remember calling my mother after work because even walking to the car, I would have to come in and rinse my eyes. So in that way, I couldn't wear makeup either. So without contacts and with having to wash my eyes out every time I stepped outside, it was just bad. And I'm not quite to that level, but I am avoiding being outside like the plague right now. And yesterday was the first day I got contacts in. It was only for a few hours. And today I have them in. They're itchy, so we'll see how long it lasts. But I wanted to share with you because I know we've talked about allergies before, but this could also apply to if you're just not feeling well, if you have inflammation going on. You want to wear makeup, you want to look more polished and more maked up. Do you know what I mean? I was going to say like filtered skin, but I'm not here promoting filtered skin. I don't filter my skin. You get to see it in all its glory. But what I'm saying is when you want to look a little bit more polished, but you're just kind of miserable, how do you do your makeup? I'll share with you how I do mine. And a key component of this is going to be avoiding eye makeup like the plague, because I want free reign to itch my eyes, And you can't really do that with eye makeup on. So there is one new product I'm going to use today. That's the L'Oreal True Match. I have not used this yet. I used this, in high school and in college, I want to say. And I think that this is a perfect match, like impressively good match for the drugstore. I struggle sometimes. This is W0.5 Warm Light. Yeah, I think it's going to be good. So why don't we just dive in? But back to the original message. If you're struggling, I feel you. I'm going to pump. Oh, that's 2 pumps on the back of my hand, and it's probably more than what we need, but I am just going to do kind of a light layer just to even out the skin. I don't remember how full coverage this is, but I know that you can get really decent coverage out of it, so I'm actually very excited about this. And just to touch on the last video, it was very long. If you didn't tune in, totally get it. I tried the Oma by Sharon C foundation, and I know that it looked like such a great match on camera, but it's a little too dewy for me in the feel of it, not necessarily the finish, but how it feels on my skin. And it is not a perfect match. Like, this is pretty dang good. Like, if I drag it down, you don't even see it. And this, if I swatch them next to each other, you would be like, oh. And I've used about half of what was on my hand. And I am bringing it up around the eyes just so things look seamless. But we're not adding a bunch of stuff around that area because I cannot. I also, you know, I'm going to push through and try to film when I can. But during this season of pollen, we might have to bust down to 2, potentially 1 video a week. And I'm green. The I'm green is like the new Raw Beauty Kristi Am I Orange? Am I green? Maybe a little. We're not swatching, so my goal is to always try to get as true to color as I can, but with this tree turning me green, there's only so much I can do. When I'm in just all non-natural light, it's even harder, so apologies and bear with me, but look how nice that finish is. This is what I like to see. So this to me is closer to the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation in kind of how it sits on the skin and finish. As you can see, especially in my more textured areas, it's not accentuating it because it's not the same kind of dewy finish. Like you can see I'm still dewy, and a lot of that is skin prep. But I'm not so shiny that it's accentuating every bump and lump on my face, you know? And divot, because we got those too. That said, I do want to use a little bit of concealer, but not too much. So today I want to use kind of a medium coverage foundation, a medium coverage concealer. So I'm going to be using the Givenchy. I really love this. It is fabulous, you know? And I'm not going to go too overboard because I don't want to feel heavy, although these products do not feel heavy, and that's another tip. You don't want to use anything that you're going to be able to like feel on your face and be uncomfortable. So I'm going to do that, maybe a little in the forehead because I'm a little red. I'm red everywhere. Also, my voice. There's been days I wake up and I'm so congested I sound like little kid Rachel, and the vocal fry is probably real intense today. So I'm going to make sure to blend that really well. I already feel more like myself with just the base on. I'm going to bring a little bit up under the eyes. I need to assess if I want to add extra coverage because I'm trying to avoid adding too much or too many layers there. I do need to fix this lighting though. So I'm going to blend in my forehead a little bit here. And then we will reconvene to figure out how much we want to add around the eye area after I fix lighting. Okay, we went with artificial lighting for today because it looks like it's about to storm, and now it's giving me like blue-green because the sky is gray and the leaves on that tree. Oh. Okay, so here we are. Skin is looking not perfected, but polished, we'll say, and much nicer than before. I'm evened out, and honestly, for this look, I don't want to overdo coverage underneath the eyes. 1, because I don't want to further irritate my eyes, and 2, I don't want it to look like I did full glam in some spots and went low-key in the other. This gives such a nice skin finish. I'm actually very impressed with this, especially matched with the concealer, that I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to add just a little bit of powder because I'm not sticky, but I can feel that if I didn't do a little bit, I might transfer, and I fully intend on touching my face today to itch it. So I want to use, again, the Wet n Wild Essence Primer and Finish Powder. I like this. I'm impressed that I like it so much. And I'm using that on the Sky Fluff from Phytosurgence. I've been really liking this even to just like tap powder. As you can see, it's like beigey yellow. And really I'm just going to use that in the T-zone. And I am not going to bring that up really over my eyes. And I'm just going super lightly around the nose because I will be touching that. And I find that it just kind of wears down and wears away a little bit nicer if you don't overdo it with powder. But that mattified in the right areas without being cakey on my dry skin. And I always appreciate that. So for eyebrows, I'm debating how strong that I want to go in, which tells me I need to just start with the Merit 1980 Brow Pomade in Blonde, because this is a good representation of what I mean when I say that this product doesn't distribute too much pomade on the hairs to where I start to grab areas that are more densely haired, have more hair, and then I just look really lopsided where I'm more sparse. This kind of evenly distributes that, and I really appreciate that, and it still gives me a finished brow. You can see compared, I still look finished, and it filled in kind of the arch in the tail where I'm a little bit more sparse without making the tail look heavy where I do have more hair. Nice side by side. I love this brow gel. I don't see myself straying from this brow gel, even though like every time I see one I want to try, I'm like, but does the Merit not do what I want it to? And it does, so why would I shop around, you know? And I will say, if I want an area to have a little bit more pigment, I will use, let me dip and show you. I will use whatever is on the end. See that little whip on the end of the brush? I will use that to paint the arch like that, and then use the comb to evenly disperse it. And then if I want a lot of pigment and I don't have anything left on the brush, I will just apply a lot of pressure so that everything comes off the brush, and then I'll use the brush to kind of comb it through. It's just a lovely product. I really love this product. So my eyebrows are, you know, a little more finished. We're getting a little more polished. This is really a no makeup look that we're going for here because I want it to wear down evenly. And because I'm not adding contrast to my eyes with makeup, I need everything to somewhat live on the same level, you know? I don't want to look too finished in one area and not finished in the other. And I want to look just to make sure some of the concealer we added to the eye, I'm just going to blend that and make sure that it's even, because we did bring the foundation just to conceal the veins and darkness that might be around our eyes. I'm going to pop on some Kinship lip jelly mask. I'm using this until it smells like it's gone off because I love this so much. And I will be reordering it when the time comes, I think. I'm dry. Whew. Okay. I swear, it looks like I am bald there, but it's because especially right at the root, do you see that? Let me see if I can get a good shot. There, you can kind of see. My hair is turning white, but because I'm already blonde, and because my skin is so fair, I just look bald. Look at my white strip. I love it. Dream is all white hair, you know. Just saying. So moving back to our tutorial here, I'm going to use a bronzer and a blush today. Powder, just easy. I will say if you're more comfortable with creams are really good for makeup looks like this because if something does happen, they're very easy to reapply over if you haven't powdered them down. Even if you've used a light powder like any of the powders I use, I go for light powders. Partially for that reason because it's much easier to touch up over without looking cakey, but also you can kind of tap things out and spread them around later on in the day if you need to reapply and do that. I'm going to try to be light-handed with bronzer. The Gucci is just such a beautiful tone that I tend to go a little overboard. So I'm going to kind of swirl that in. And I'm taking my time with each step because if you're like me and makeup is more of a ritual for you, even if you're kind of bringing it down to something like this that's no makeup, or where you're not doing a full step like your eyes and you love to kind of zone out and get in the flow state, I urge you to try to get in the flow state with maybe the steps that you tend to rush through, like bronzer and blush, and just, you know, keep your ritual going even though it might look slightly different that day. That is what I am doing. And see, we didn't bronze to the point where we need to add a bunch of layers to bridge the gap between our skin tone and bronzer. It's just enough to add a little bit of light to the face. And today I want to dip back into Beautypie blush. This is the shade Currant Mood. Yes. This is their new powder blush formula that is in a refillable compact. I talked about this in the last video, but again, that was quite long. I am so happy that they expanded the shade range in their powder blushes because their powder blushes are absolutely beautiful and they're finally getting into more neutral to cool leaning. It's about as neutral as I've seen with Beautypie colors in general. And I'm going to use the same brush, which is the Beautypie All Over Face Powder. It's my favorite for bronzer and it's my favorite for very dispersed blush because it is so large. I can just kind of like tap it, pick up just a little bit and tap it around. And again, I'm going for a color that's not going to be super statement-y, natural, and kind of a color that naturally lives on my face. Words. And again, we're going to romanticize this and just, you know, pat the brush more than maybe we need to, just because I need to feel like I'm doing my makeup because I miss it so much. It's such an important part of my day and I always feel better when I do it, but there have been the majority of days this past week where I couldn't. It didn't make sense to, and it just would have been a mess, you know, and I couldn't see to do it. Let's be super honest. So I noticed that while I was bronzing, kind of knocked a little bit of the pomade around. So I'm going to go back in with my eyebrow pomade and just rebrush the hairs. Not adding a ton of product, just zhuzhing it a bit. All right, looks good. Maybe we do need a little bit to even these out. I have one arch. See how I pressed it a little bit harder there just to disperse more product and then blend it with the brush. Ta-da! Love it. Okay, I have a little itch, so I'm going to use my trick where I just use a brush. I'm using the one that I had powder on and just kind of itch around my eye. This is also good because it's a heck of a lot more gentle than digging in with your fingers. And this is where we're at with the complexion. This is exactly what I wanted. I just want to look put together without having too many layers of anything on. And I'm going to use MAC Fix Plus, and then we'll do a little bit of lip. Because I'm looking like Kim Possible cartoon style, like I don't have an upper lip. And on days like this, I do have more dry skin, but I do also just enjoy the feeling of facial spray. So I'll be keeping either the Ceramide by me or the Tower 28, which I keep on my desk and in the chair when I'm editing, just to kind of get some relief throughout the day. Gotta do what you gotta do. So for lips, let us see. Okay. Decision made. I want to use the new Beautypie Shine Up Luxe Lip Color Balm in the shade Love.Love.Love. I do not know. I think this color is new in this formula. I love this formula. And I've wanted a nude like this. Very, very close to Currant Mood. Currant Mood has a little bit more pink. But this I have worn. I know that I love the formula, but I have worn this color. And what I will say is it is very sheer. and it is super close to my actual lip color, so it just adds kind of an evenness. A little bit of color if I've, you know, patted over with any complexion products, and a little bit of balm. Because as much as I love lip oils and stuff, on days like this, where I'm doing very bare minimum, or if I don't have any makeup on at all, a nice tinted moisturizing balm is like the furthest that I need to go, you know? So if you wanted to top it, I think Sun Haze would be a really good one because it just adds a little bit of color and like a beigey nude without, for me, it's pretty mid-tone. I'll swatch it next to Love.Love.Love. It's just a touch warmer than Love.Love.Love. But they're on the same playing field as far as depth of color. This would be a really good one that's moisturizing. And yeah, I think that's where we're gonna leave this. I feel pretty, I feel put together. I feel comfortable enough to film, although I film barefaced all the time. I don't know that I want to sit through an entire video, you know, or if you had meetings or you needed to go out, this is what I would do if you're really struggling with allergies or being sick in general and you need something low maintenance, easy, quick. I also want to mention, I forgot, everything will be listed and linked down below. All of these products are tried and true outside of the L'Oreal True Match. Upon first impressions, I am obsessed, and I paid $7. So contender for duping out the NARS. I think finish and coverage-wise were there. I'll see how it wears. We'll revisit it, and I also want to try the serum version of that. But everything else is tried and true. I love it so much. I highly recommend it. And yeah, on to the outro, you know? I hope this helps you. If you're struggling right now, I want to give you the biggest hug. My heart goes out to you. I totally get it. I'm slowly losing my mind because I'm stuck inside. I did pick up a few things to kind of keep me busy without partaking in the beautiful weather. I'm doing some diamond painting, which is my favorite thing in the world. And I finally found some cool things that I'm not just diamond painting and giving away or throwing away, because not all of them are things I would want to hang on my wall. I'm picking back up on reading, and I'm also working on my design project. So try to find things inside that you can do to kind of keep your mind off of what you're maybe missing. It can be lonely, especially when you're encouraging your partner or the people you live with to go out and enjoy it. Make sure you're taking care of yourself. You're still keeping up your rituals, even if it's doing a different version of your ritual, and you're finding hobbies and things to entertain yourself that maybe aren't necessarily social media. You know, although social media plays a part in that. Just make sure you have like a well-rounded balance thing. We can make a whole video about that. It is on my list to film. I'm hopefully going to be filming another video today and then hopefully tomorrow, but you're probably going to see me without eyeshadow until the pollen decides it's dwindling. So I hope you're doing well. You're taking care of yourself. This is helpful. And I hope that I'll see you in the next one. Bye.